That was my current best platonic friend, one of our roommates. And she's running around just like I am. Everyone in the house is running around doing stuff. Kids are going to school like crazy, going to concerts and classes to improve themselves. And we play games. We're a bunch of gamers, and technically we are all a bunch of geniuses. It's a house of geniuses. It's great. It's very comfortable. So anyway, back to what I was saying. The whole case for me to be being the Antichrist. My mother was really messed up. She was really, really, really smart. That's where I get the deep intelligence from. I got wit from my dad, charm from my dad. Okay, and my dad was smart, but he wasn't like a deep thinker because he was afraid of what he thought. Whereas my mom apparently just descended into crazy stuff, and she had this Catholic ideology with everything. She severely, severely abused me and neglected me, locked me in rooms with no food, water. I'd pee out a window, kids would make fun of me, severe physical abuse, and even some other stuff. You know, it wasn't full until later. Someone else did something really bad to me too. But then again, I'm not 100% sure on that because I blacked that out. I just know that I was in a situation, and then later I was in a different situation, and I was in pain. So I've had some bad stuff happen to me, and I have a lot of reasons to be angry. Like everybody who has bad stuff happen to them has a right to process. What you don't have a right to do is pass it on to others and carry it with you. That little piece of hell, like I said. When you escape from hell, okay, let me tell you a story. This is a great story. This is a nice little written thing, but it's actually came from a moment of sincerity when I wrote it. Okay, I had two narratives. My mother abused the shit out of me. Was one narrative that I tell people when I felt like that was the moment that I was in, and I was being sincere, 100%. I meant it. I wasn't like trying to manipulate anybody. I was just like, that's where I'm coming from here, and that's why you have to understand me, because I suffered like crazy, and no one gets to survive that without being a little broken. Please understand me, help me, please love me. That was that perspective. The other perspective was, oh, my mother was taken away from me on my birthday. Because it happened on my birthday. I came home from school, and I had a bag of like tchotchkes that people who'd come to the school had left behind, like a backpack with a name of a brand on it, and coloring books, and like from not Dare, but pre-Dare stuff in the 80s. Like all that shit was thrown together into a nice little gift pack for me with some snacks, because I used to get free lunch, but only because there was one kid who was out. My mom didn't even sign me up for free lunch. There was one kid who was out with some sort of long-term illness, so I got to take their metal lunch ticket and get lunch every day, and I felt guilty about that. So I started stealing shit for my brothers and myself. We'd get Hostess cakes and whatever, and we put it in our pockets and hide them. I was smart enough to misdirect even back then, because honestly, that's how I survived my mother. I could make her lay down for 3 days if she was hurting me too much. So yeah, of course, my social skills were the weapons of war. We got in trouble for stealing from a store. My brother, I'm using his name, I hope he doesn't mind, but he and I were stealing to feed our brother, who actually had malnourishment. He had a big old belly. He's wearing a diaper at like almost 3 years old, and it was always full until we changed it. Okay, so we had some shitty shit happen. My mother, I'm not even going to traumatize you with one of the things she did. Let's just get the gist, okay? I'm sorry if any of this hurts anybody or triggers anybody, but guess what? Sometimes I have a right to talk about myself, and if it hurts you, I'm sorry, okay? But I'm going to try to help you figure out how it won't hurt you in the future. That's the goal here. We want to be better, healthier people. Back to the thing, my mom is brilliant. So she actually set up my name with this whole Catholic ideology thing. She thought that she had to punish me and prevent me from being bad or something. Or maybe she just had this ego thing where she wanted to be the one to prevent, say, the Antichrist from coming into existence. She wanted to kill the Antichrist, and I knew that. She wanted to kill me because she named me. And she chose my name such a way that somehow I ended up studying Hebrew for my game. Such a way that my number adds up to 666 if you do a certain type of gematria. Okay, and it uses an ancient thing, and I'd have to throw an aleph in there, right? If I don't throw the aleph in, I'm 665. But the aleph in my game corresponds to the concept of command. I'm taking command over myself, yes, but I'm not in command of anyone else. I never will be. I won't accept it. And I'm not afraid of it. But it's just not my place, okay? I'm not in charge of anybody or anyone. But she wrote my name. So if you take the R and turn it into a resh, the N's turn them into nuns, and all this stuff, they have numerical values in Hebrew. My number adds up to 666 if you add it a certain way. And it's pretty cool that it's hard to reproduce. You have to go to a certain gematria calculator and you have to use a certain spelling. I mean, certain spelling is the way you do the math. But the only way you can get that spelling is by throwing an extra aleph in there between certain letters. Okay? So that's kind of like, if you look back at my mom being poetic, right? She thought like me probably, very similarly, ahead. She made sure that the thing that would make the difference with me, I guess, was whether I had ego, similar to the fall of Lucifer kind of parallel story that she had in her head. So if I went and let my ego get out of control, I'd be a very bad person. And maybe she even laid that groundwork in the pain that she caused me. There's my friend leaving. She's going to do a lot of good stuff. Anyway, so regardless, she made sure the number added up. She made sure I had the pain and anger at the world that maybe I'd be that. But then she also wanted to kill me, but for some reason her values didn't allow her to fully kill me. She just tortured me. She had me in positions where she was going to kill me a few times. And she'd always back off, or I'd put her to bed for 3 days with depression or fear. Because guess what? I mean, I pick up on people and I know what they're looking for, and I can show them exactly what they don't want to, what they kind of want to see but don't really want to know. Like, you know, like I can pretend, and I can also sometimes access a true, deep, dark place and drive the pretend through that. So, adding that all up, I have the mark of the beast she gave me, right on the right hand. I've got, okay, what else? I had a head wound. I had 7 heads, right? 7 personalities that I miraculously healed. Like that, I don't know if she could have seen that per se, but maybe I somehow, because she read the Bible to me from dawn till dusk every day in the summer, and she like threw knives at me. Anyway, she was messed up. Messed up. And there's no hope for people like that, to be honest, at the moment. At least not from me. I can't help the people who society dropped or that descended faster than society could grab them, or their family or whatever. I can't help those people. And bad things happen to those people. That's probably why they went that way. I can't per se help them, but you can help the ones in your own direct life. I'm not ready to go back and help my mother. She's near the end of her life. And I haven't seen her in like over 20 years. Maybe almost close to like 27. I haven't even counted. Last time I saw her, she gave me this little leather ET doll, and I held it for a long time. I was sleeping with it in the summer and being sweaty. You know, I love my mom on some level, but I fear the shit out of her. And I fear people like her. Every time I face someone who has that same kind of thing going on, where they kind of annex you, they kind of get into your head and they mess with things when they find it, you know, those people tend to fuck me up a little bit. I'm getting a little better with it, and my friends can handle those people way better than I can. So we talk and we help each other. And I want to share some of those tools that I've gotten from friends and from myself and from life. I want to share those with people so that you can get out of your own dark situations mentally. I'm walking around making you dizzy. So fucking what, dude? I'm sorry. I'm me. And if any part of me doesn't fit your situation, then don't use it. I'm going to walk around right now. Sometimes maybe in the future I'll get a still cam or something and I'll just walk around that way. It'll be easier for you. But for now, this is where my motivation is and this is where my heart is. And I figure like if you start with the purest motivation you can find and you motivate from there, you tend to have good outcomes even if just in the long run. Although, if you really think about it, all the ups and downs of life are really a matter of perspective. This is the last bit and then I'll end this one again. Okay, so if you're looking at the world from the bottom of the valley, you could think every time I'm lifted up and life goes better, it's only there to show me how bad life can get. Because I just want to have a little bit of hope and then yank it away. That's a dark perspective because you're starting from that valley. If you go to the top and you say, well, you know what? All the downs of life were just a way to make you appreciate the good. That's an up perspective. And in a way, they're both annoying. They're both annoying. I like to live like 3/4 of the way up the mountain so I can still see the top and then get there when I need to. And then I look down in the valley and say, shit, people I love are still down there, but I'm not going all the way down. I can't anymore. What I can do is I can do what I can from here. And I can walk down a little bit, but I'm not going all the way down there and living with someone again. I'm not certainly bringing anyone down the valley. I did that a little bit, but at the same time, we held each other at the bottom. and that was wrong. It sucked. But you can't regret life. You can't regret your whole life. At some point, you got to say, I don't regret it, per se. It happened and it sucked, and maybe it shouldn't happen again. That's all. I mean, we're moving in a linear forward way in time. It may not be the highest perspective possible, but right now that's where we are. So we can't take full responsibility for the landscape that led to the mountain you're on. There had to be a pulling together, like an ebb of the water to make the wave, if you're looking at it from a higher than linear time perspective. It's just a landscape, and something added to something else had to come from somewhere, maybe. But maybe we don't have to take it from each other. That'd be cool. Once again, this is douchebaggery on BBC or something.